Okay, Jeff, I understand that you're filing charges against this guy who
Yeah.
committed this act.
Sure. We filed hate crime charges against an individual who last month shoved a 76-year-old Muslim man as he was leaving Muslim prayer services. This was back in March. So there was a small group of individuals having Muslim prayer services at the Morgan Hill Community Center. The services let out around 9:30 p.m. and the defendant in the case saw this small group of people, and they were dressed in traditional Muslim prayer garb. He made a number of very bigoted statements about Muslims, and then walked up to the 76-year-old victim and shoved him and kind of pushed the victim back. The victim almost fell, but was held up by the other people that were with him. The police were called, and we charged him with a violation of Penal Code Section 422, which is a misdemeanor hate crime. It's using force or the threat of force, where the motivation to do that was a bias against someone's religion, ethnicity, or national origin. And that's what the individual did in this case. We take hate crimes very seriously in the DA's office, and we take them very seriously because we view hate crimes as a crime against three: a crime against the individual, in this case the 76-year-old, a crime against all the people in that individual's religious or ethnic group, in this case Muslims in the Bay Area, because we know an incident like this is something that everyone in the Muslim community hears about, because fear travels very quickly and people are rightfully concerned. And then finally, three, this kind of crime is a crime against all of us as Americans, where we're all entitled to fair and equal and respectful treatment under the law. And in a county as diverse as Santa Clara counties, where there's people of every religion, every ethnicity, every sexual orientation from all over the world, it's incredibly important that we all get along with one another. And when someone targets someone or singles them out because of their religious difference or ethnic difference, if we don't take a very strong stand against that, we risk losing the fabric of our community. And so that's why we take these crimes so seriously.
Yeah, I understand he turned himself in.
He did. He turned himself in. The defendant in this case, he'll be arraigned on May 30th on the charges. This is a crime that carries a maximum of 1 year in custody, 1 year in jail. I don't know that this is a case that ultimately will end up with the defendant serving jail time. I don't know. What I would like to see happen in this case is I'd like the defendant to plead guilty, accept responsibility for what he did, apologize to the victims for what he did, because it really scared and traumatized them, which is completely understandable. And then number three, a unique piece of the hate crime statute that we charge the defendant under is it recommends, in terms of sentencing in these kinds of crimes, to require the defendant to do community service for a community service organization that serves that victim's community, or to take educational classes to learn more about that victim's community. So the idea here is to take someone who today acted in a hateful and bigoted way and help them become a better person and turn them into an upstander tomorrow, somebody that's going to stand up for people's rights to pray as they wish to pray and to be different. So that's what I would like to see happen in this case.
Do you know, did he show any type of remorse afterwards?
Not that we're aware of at this point. You know, one thing we can say is he had had a few drinks before this happened, and that may have played some role in what he had said. But of course, that's not an excuse. And just because, you know, a lot of people have a few drinks, but they then don't say bigoted things against a group and then shove a 76-year-old man who's a member of that group. So that may have played some role in this. And I would hope that the individual who committed this crime will see how seriously we're taking it, and will reflect on what he did and apologize for that. You know, part of why we take hate crimes so seriously in the DA's office is, number one, we know these crimes are very underreported. Often victims in these crimes are ashamed or fearful or think that law enforcement won't care about this. So one reason we take these seriously and want to publicize cases like this is so victims know to come forward, and that if they come forward, they'll be listened to, they'll be treated respectfully. Number two, we want potential perpetrators of crimes like this to know we take this very seriously and we have no tolerance for it, whether it's Muslims, Jews, blacks, Asians, Hispanic, whoever the ethnic group or sexual orientation of someone that someone wants to target. We want would-be perpetrators to know we take these crimes very seriously. And then lastly, I want the community to know we take these crimes seriously because we are reflecting this community's values. And I know that this community values diversity and tolerance and respect, and we in the DA's office want to role model those values and want to show the community that's how we're acting, to remind the community that that's how we live together in this diverse county.
Yeah. Has there been an uptick in crimes like this?
There's definitely been an uptick in hate crimes this year across the board. Mm-hmm. So at this point, there are 15 hate crime cases that we've charged, which would put us on pace for as many hate crimes as we've ever filed in a year. The victims of the hate crimes in the 15 cases we have filed have been primarily Latinos and African Americans and members of the LGBTQ plus community. But we also have the hate crime in this case where the individuals were targeted because they were Muslim.
Yeah, and I think he did express he had a dislike for it.
The reason he's charged with a hate crime as opposed to just a battery charge is because prior to shoving the victim in the case, he had said many very negative and bigoted things about Muslims, F Muslims, Muslim mother effers, and words like that. So it was pretty clear that he had a bias against Muslims, and that's why he shoved the person in this case.